This is part of Journalism 282, Intro to Broadcast Writing, in broadcast news writing for radio and TV newscasts. So I'm Professor Moore, and I thought we'd talk about a few writing tips. These come mainly from my main writing hero, the first guy who taught me broadcast news, a gentleman named Merv Block, who goes all the way back at CBS News to names like Walter Cronkite and Dan Rather. I'm not going to get into a history lesson. I'm just going to give you a few of his pointers. These all are from his book, which is called Writing Broadcast News Shorter, Sharper, and Stronger, which is in its second or third edition. And again, the author, the writer, is Merv Block. So just to highlight a few, let's talk about these. Number one, start strong. Start your writing, start your script strong. He says, well begun is half done. And we'll get to that in a little more detail shortly. But I'll give it away. He says the first 10 words of your script are essential. So make sure the main point of your story, of the news story you're writing for radio or TV, is pretty clear in the first 10 words. He also says, print out your copy, print out your source copy, get that newspaper copy in front of you or the story from a newswire. Print it out and mark it up. Read it, understand it, underline key facts, circle key facts. Think about what you want to talk about. Don't write yet. He says don't write right away. Don't write, think. Next up is a really crucial one. It's about conversational writing, and Merv Block's tips include a crucial one called write the way you talk. Write the way you talk. Conversational writing is key to this class. And you will learn as we get a little deeper into the semester that there are a number of rules of broadcast news writing. Without getting too deeply into those, let's stick with Merv Block's list of top tips, the best techniques to make you a good broadcast writer. Write simply, and that takes guts. It takes courage. When you're in a fancy newsroom somewhere in the future working for New York One or CNN, or writing broadcast copy for a video or audio piece for the New York Times, you must have the courage to write simply, short, simple sentences. One of the key parts of writing short, simple sentences is active voice. Active voice, which is subject, verb, object. The classic example, Moore kicks the chair. Moore kicked the chair. Subject, Moore, that's me. Verb, kicks. Object, the chair. That's active voice. Activate your copy using active voice, using these active verbs. It often results in shorter, simpler sentences. One idea per sentence. That will help you keep your sentences shorter. Use short words. Use conversational words, words you would actually say. Use short sentences. And try to localize each story you write. Localize it. Keep your audience in mind. Your audience, in this case, York College Radio, YC Radio, or York College TV, a TV piece that might be on the Pandora's Box website. Avoid the verb to be, also known as is. To be. I am, he, she, is, he is, she is, they are. It's weak. The verb to be is weak. Go for an active verb, a verb that does something a little more active. Present tense works when appropriate. I'll give you lots of examples of that. But here's a quick one. Mayor de Blasio makes an announcement at 9 o'clock in the morning that he is raising taxes. He makes the announcement at 9 o'clock in the morning. On the 11 o'clock news, you can still say, good evening, everyone. This is the TomMoore.com 11 o'clock news. Mayor de Blasio says he's raising taxes. Says is present tense. He said it at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's now the 11 o'clock at night news, the 11 p.m. news. But you can still use present tense. It activates. It gives some energy to your copy. So use present tense where you can. A few more rules. Keep your sentences, keep your scripts in positive form. Avoid the negative. Keep it positive. take negative out and write it as a positive. And I'll get into that as we progress through these weeks in class together. Don't start your sentences or your script or your story. Don't start your scripts with a quote or a question, because people who are listening or watching won't really know who you're talking about. For example, you start a news story with a quote, and here's an example of it. I'm not raising taxes. He's not raising taxes. And then the next sentence would be, that's what de Blasio said today at a morning news conference. For that split moment, for that split second, for those 3 or 4 seconds, people didn't know who you were talking about. He's not raising taxes. He is raising taxes. Those examples need attribution first, it's called. Attribution first. So attribution first means you would put de Blasio at the front of the sentence. De Blasio at the front of the sentence. De Blasio says he's raising taxes. De Blasio says he will not raise taxes. Put the speaker first. And I'll explain that more as we get a little deeper into this semester. As we wrap it up, there's a couple of writing tips that I really love that I'll finish this little talk about. Don't raise questions you don't answer. When you're writing a story, if you mention a fact, if you mention a person, place, or thing, something that has a key part of your story, don't bring it up unless you're going to give sufficient details to explain it. Make sure you include things in your story that you have time to explain. We're often only writing 90 words. So you need to make sure you're only hitting the most important things. And the rule, again, I'll say it here at the end of the point, don't raise questions you don't answer. In other words, only tackle what you have time to talk about. Read your copy out loud. Read it aloud. You will spot problems when you realize it doesn't quite read right. It doesn't read very well. So go back and rewrite it more simply. These are a few tips in broadcast writing for radio and TV news writing from a gentleman by the name of Merv Block, Mervin Block. His book, Writing Broadcast News Shorter, Sharper, and Stronger. And this is all part of our journalism class, Journalism 282, all about writing broadcast news, writing TV and radio news copy. Thank you. We'll talk again soon. It's Professor Moore, Tom Moore, from the journalism program in the English department at York College.